Right, everyone. So this is our day one of the Empower You conference, and we're going to be talking about mentoring with none other than Imam Dr. Talib Shareef. Next, we have Excellency Dakar, who will be a part of this panel. Next, we have Mr. Dominic Moore. All right, we also have Sudan Eubanks. And I am also going to be a part of this panel, and my name is Her Excellency Cairo. And so I believe that with that being said, Imam Dr. Shareef, I'm going to turn this panel right over to your extremely capable hands. I'm so excited to have you be our master teacher today.
Thank you. Really appreciate those introductions and hearing about these panelists that we have before us, and looking forward to bringing out more information. I pretty much got about 3 lines of questioning that deals with some of the biggest challenges about the line of work and about your career growth. And there may be other things too, but certainly in those areas, we want to give people some information. Of course, you mentioned my military career. I spent 30 years in the Air Force. And in fact, mentoring was a big part of my career, of my history. And I had to actually do a study on mentoring, and I used the Tuskegee Airmen. Many of you have heard about the Tuskegee Airmen, right? And I hosted one of the Tuskegee Airmen before I retired from the military, and had a chance to ask some questions about my studies when I was just a young person in the military. And I was asking him about the ages of the Tuskegee Airmen. And I was surprised to know that a lot of this didn't come out in a lot of the books that I was studying at the time. And it definitely was not in the military reports, because the age of someone that was 15 years old. And of course, they're not permitted to go in the military at that age. And of course, the answer to how they were able to get in was that they lied. And of course, what was happening, these 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, they knew that they could perform, but they just didn't have the mentoring, but it was something in them. And of course, they were given the environment. Because mentoring, you got different types of mentoring. You got the one-on-one mentoring, which some of you on here we could maybe speak about, and you have group mentoring as well. And of course, this situation fit into group mentoring, and of course, there was some one-on-one along the way. And but we saw that when they were put in inferior situations, given inferior equipment to train with, they was pretty much written off as that they would not be successful because of their race, we know. And it was also said they didn't have the capacity to be intelligent, to think. They couldn't give them the responsibility to have this high expensive equipment. So they gave them all hand-me-downs. But we saw that the leaders among them were African-American leaders who have risen up in the ranks and who had led them. Even though they had inferior equipment, inferior training situations, the leaders who were mentoring them were superior. And with the mentoring they received, they were able to do something that those who had superior equipment, superior training, etc., weren't able to do. In fact, with inferior equipment, they were able to perform superior to those that had superior equipment and training. And of course, they're in history now. And I was wondering, I would say, how the world, you talking about 15, 16-year-olds able to achieve something like that over those who had them senior in age and had the best circumstances to prevail. And the key was, I asked him, I said, how were they able to do that? And he said back then, as you noted, they knew themselves, and we knew ourselves, and we knew our situation, and we knew our environment. And he's saying the key word is that we were conscious. He said, and so I say that's the key to getting our young people to be successful today, to become conscious. He said most of them are not conscious. I'm excited because I know many of you haven't had to go through a situation like that, but you're performing. The key I want to make is that you all are performing superior. As I look at your history and look at the things you're doing, and so we certainly want to hear more about that. So let's get started. Then. I want to ask each of you, what was one of the biggest challenges that you faced?
I don't remember all of it, but I remember around the real estate market crash.
because our family was heavily invested in real estate. That's where we got, that's where my parents worked, that field of service. And so with the real estate market crash, we were basically homeless. We were homeless for a period of time. I remember going to my Christian school, my Christian elementary school, in kindergarten and first grade, and the principal giving me her kids' hand-me-downs. That's we weren't able to afford any clothes, and it made me appreciate everything that I have now. And it also led me down the path of community service, because I realized that now I am at a point of privilege where I'm able to give back to others who have gone through difficult times like I have in the past. And it just fills my heart with joy whenever I'm able to give back to the community through my nice acts of kindness.
Wow, wow. Wonderful, wonderful. Great. Glad. And you're the youngest one on the panel right now.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. And you already actually you've answered another question about what did you learn from it, because you obviously part of that is as you've been in this situation now and you can do more. You can have, so you're giving back. You're actually giving back. That's one of the things you learn. Who much is given, much is asked. So you're able to give back and start with community service. So that's quite a lesson for the youngest person on the panel to put that out so early to us. So we appreciate that, Sudan.
Thank you.
Yes. Who's next?
Yes, I mentioned earlier today about my hardest time as a financial time. I had a business, Dakar shoes restorations, and I would restore and customize shoes. And I also was a star athlete, and my teammates and my friends, they would want to get their shoes customized for the big game that we had the next week. Or they wanted to have a special shoe for an event that's going on at school, and I would get the supplies to get the work done, but I wouldn't. I would I would absorb the cost instead of letting my friends and my teammates and my clients pay for it, and I was in $700 a debt, and and that's because I did not manage my business properly, and with working with GODSU's Junior Ambassadors program, I got mentored by Dr. Roberts, by Chancellor, by other phenomenal entrepreneurs and faith leaders like yourself, Imam Dr. Talib, and just learn how to manage my business properly, and now I can mentor other people on how to do their business as well. So what I learned from that lesson was about how to manage the business. That if there's a surprise cost, that I would add that in for the client to pay instead of absorbing the cost.
Excellent, 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 excellent. Let's go to Dominique.
Yeah, I'll go next. For me, my hardest challenge would have been getting funding for my business. I remember I'm in a family business currently, but at one point I had a little issue with my father, and so we went separate ways. I even tried to get a new job outside in insurance, and it wasn't working out. I didn't have a car at the time, but eventually, I persevered and I mended my relationship with my father, and I'm now back in a position where I'm able to finance myself, and I've just persevered in a different way in terms of finding different things, almost like to hustle, but I didn't give up, and I was able. A lot of opportunities came to me, and it manifested in the right way. The lesson I learned would have been, to never give up, and
To never give up. That's a big lesson. It's few words, but it's a big lesson. Thank you.
True.
Thank you for sharing that. Let's go
Thank
back
you.
to the madam in the middle there.
I love
Dear
it.
sister.
Yes, yes. So I would say a challenge that I faced, it does tie into what you were talking about, Sudan, in terms of that's what I was going to share was when the real estate market crashed, my parents had businesses in real estate and real estate law. So we literally lost everything. And I went from going to, private school, and that was all I knew, to literally, having my stuff in a trash bag and, not necessarily knowing where we're going to be next. How that affected me specifically was that, around the same time that we were going through a lot of different transitionings and transitions and like transitioning out of that space, thank God, I was also applying for college, was applying for scholarships. And I had to do a lot of that on my own. And so in terms of doing the research for the schools, I didn't want to bother my parents about that. I figured that they had other things to prioritize. So I had to focus on, getting into schools, but I was able to lean on some of the mentors I had through college counselors, and people who had already worked with me through the years and said, you know what, I'm going to take extra time out just to make sure that I can help you with any questions that you may have about your personal essay, helping to edit it. And even when I got to college, I had people who were really guiding me throughout the process. Semester at sea would have been almost impossible for me to have done, had it not been for not only scholarships and grants, but also advisors and people who were, within semester at sea as well as on my campus rooting for me and encouraging me and letting me know that there was no reason for me not to be able to pursue my passion of finally getting to see the world outside of the textbooks, despite financial constraints. So I have to say that, the challenges that I faced during that time were mostly financial, but I was able to overcome them, with the help of mentors, which I think is pretty apropos for this panel, is to talk about the people who guided me there and were my, second sets of parents when I was going through those challenging times.
Yeah, it's a lot that came out of that. In fact, that makes me want to ask now. In terms of personally, each one of you personally, what have been the defining factors in your personal development journey to where you are today? We're going to His Excellency Dakar.
Sure.
I see he made a big smile when I asked that question, so I know he got something to share with us. So you got it.
That was a great question.
Mm-hmm.
As far as personal development, the main thing that I've seen, because I grew up in the DMV area, so you have a very mixed crowd of people that you get there. And as far as personal development, I've noticed a difference when I would surround myself around people that I want to aspire to become, instead of people that you may be ashamed to be caught with, So, and I mentioned I was an athlete earlier, and it tends to be that the best basketball players, our best football players, may not be the best people off the court or off the field. So, so that was difficult. Like playing sports, you get caught up with the wrong group of people. You want to. That's where I liked about the junior ambassador program, is that we got mentoring by Dr. Roberts. Um, we get mentored by Imam Dr. Talib Shareef, and so on. And we also have basketball too, so you can be playing basketball and other sports with people you aspire to be like as well. So just surrounding yourself around the right people as far as personal development.
Yeah, so bringing out those jewels that are in you and give you an opportunity to kind of do that self-assessment, like you were saying,
Yes.
about different environments. Yeah, yeah, I appreciate you sharing that.
Yes.
And let's go to our dear Sister Dan.
So, from a really young age, I was multitasking with a lot. So I had school, I also had a social life, just for mental health. I was multitasking in different community service projects. Like even when I was in third grade, I was volunteering with the Best Buddies program, where I was able to become friends because in normal public schools, I don't know if people know this, they actually usually separate the special ed kids away from the neurotypical kids, right? And so there were never any chances to connect with other people that you wouldn't normally be around. So with the Best Buddies program, I was able to be around atypical people, and just being able to surround myself with people from different backgrounds. And then going in furthermore, entrepreneurship, being able to travel. Like most of my summers, I wasn't in Florida, so I wasn't around my friends. I was traveling, and from a young age, I was just juggling a lot. And even now, I'm juggling different, fields, my pageantry, my community service, entrepreneurship, as well as school and friends. And I've been able to realize that I can really do it all. People say, "Oh no, you can't do it all," and stay sane. I'm doing it all and I'm staying sane. I'm good. And so just realizing that there's no limitation.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, that's it's a lot in what you're saying. Again, this is so noteworthy that you're the youngest on the panel, and even what's eluding from you right now is confidence. And of course, the confidence, the best definition of confidence is in what you just said. It's really a rational assessment of your abilities. You can do, you know what you can do. And so, yeah, we appreciate you sharing that powerful information, about that.
I would say that I'm still developing at this moment. I haven't reached all my goals, but I was privileged enough to be born into a family of entrepreneurs, dating back to my grandfather, and now my father, and even my aunts and uncle, including Dr. Eubanks, Moore Eubanks, then, and so she has been mentoring me for the last year, and so I've actually grown up in my parents' businesses, side by side from a young age, as early as probably even 7. We had a tire business. I used to help unpack the tires, at the store. We were always around and somewhat involved in the business. So I'm grateful for that opportunity. And it's almost like entrepreneurship has basically been in our blood, because we're born into it. So that's what I would have to say.
Oh, that's wonderful, wonderful, Dominic. And I like what you were saying about when you were young, because you really show in the state of nature that we have a nature to really want to have to be useful.
Yes.
And you mentioned about 7 and working. That's what the family was doing. You grew up in that, and your natural innate ability to want to be useful and make a contribution just begin to come out. True. And they apparently they're cultivating something there that led to you being where you are now. And we appreciate you sharing that too. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Her Excellency, Cairo. Cairo.
You know what I would say is my defining moment had to be, I'm trying to think of one particular time during semester. See, I think maybe when I reached the shores of Morocco and I finally stepped foot on the continent of Africa, that to me was a really defining moment for me, because for semester at sea, as I was alluding to earlier, there were times in which I didn't think that traveling the world and getting to see the places that I'd read about was actually going to be physically possible or financially possible. I didn't see myself doing it. And it wasn't until I was on the plane to Germany, the first time I'd ever gone to Europe, period, I said, wait a second, this is something that I can do. This isn't just something that is just for people who are part of the elite or people who are extremely wealthy. I found different ways of making sure that I could get to travel and get to see the world and get to learn from people. And so the defining moment for me was, doing that entire trip. I would say Morocco, just because, all of us, I think everyone who was Black on this ship, we were all like crying, because we were like, we're finally in Africa, we're finally in the continent, and we went from Morocco to Senegal. And so we were just like, we were so excited, but it really opened my eyes. And once I realized it wasn't that difficult to apply for a visa, it wasn't as strenuous as I thought it would be, and that it really wasn't as challenging as I had assumed that it would be, it actually encouraged me to find more ways to fund different, traveling opportunities through grants And, you know, now people will pay me to travel and go to their country and, you know, do a tour. Actually, I had people in South Africa who'd wanted me to do that before the pandemic had unfortunately hit. So that defining moment of getting to finally see the world and, you know, getting to experience that and realizing that I could see the world, I could do it too. It was really a defining moment for me.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this question again. This is maybe personal too. With the name Cairo, and then finally going to Egypt, and then of course with all the names, you know, the Dakar and also the Sudan, this connection to Africa. You know, did that have any kind of play in there? You're not actually in the area where that name is associated with.
Well, I can speak from my experience. So I growing up, you know, my father was huge on Egyptology, and in fact, I actually have a gold necklace pendant with the bust of Nefertiti that I used to wear growing up. Like that was something that he passed down to me. So I grew up learning about Egypt. And then, of course, you know, when you have a name, you're kind of curious to know what it means or where it comes from. So when we realized that, you know, Senegal, he's here, Egypt, and then Sudan is already a country within herself, it really made me, as someone who's a travel enthusiast, actually want to go. So my parents growing up, they would always say that, you know, one day we're going to actually do a whole trip and we're going to visit each and every country where we were named after, you know. And so I had the opportunity to go to Senegal through semester at sea. And that was a big reason why I did semester at sea when I did. When I saw Senegal was on the list, I was like, I did my whole essay on Dakar and on my grandfather who'd always wanted to go to Senegal, Grandpa Moore. But that being said, when it comes to Egypt, oh my gosh, the second I had an opportunity to go to Egypt, I jumped. And Imam Shareef, you remember, I actually asked you what to do, you know, going to Ramadan, you know, prior to going during Ramadan. So our names have definitely been a legacy for us, because it's not only do the names, and I'm sure everyone can explain what the names, their names mean, mine being the victorious one, it made me want to step into that name and to wear that name really well. And then to know that I'm connected, for example, to the African continent, my name is connected to such rich history and heritage, it made me want to do better and to be better, just because I realized that it made me stand out. There are not a lot of Cairos that you're going to meet in person, right? I think I've only met one other Cairo who's also Jamaican American, which is kind of funny. But other than that, you don't really meet a lot of people like that. So you have to embrace your name and embrace the culture in which you come from and what it means. So I'm going to pass it over, I guess, to Sudan. Do you want to explain what your name means?
Sure. My name, Sudan. So mom and dad always wanted to make sure that we were fully intact with our African heritage and our African culture. So my name, Sudan, means land of the Black people. Mm-hmm. And I remember growing up with that name and not really liking it. I was like, Mom, why couldn't you just name me Sophie or something? Like, really? And I remember one time somebody asked me, I remember this so distinctively. I was in lunch right after fourth period in sixth grade. Somebody asked me, do you actually really like your name? And I was so insulted. And after that, I was like, I'm going to take so much pride in my name. And I wear it with, like, I wear it as an armor. I love my name, and I'm so glad that it's very unique and it stays true to me.
Mm-hmm.
What's in the name? What's in the name? If we get more information on what's in the name and how they contribute. Go ahead, Dakar.
Oh, I'm sorry. Cairo wanted to interject and just let everybody know that
I named Sudan.
Oh, all right. Get the credit where the credit is due.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, and for mine, I was a little different. I growing up with Dakar is my name. I didn't really appreciate it until I'd say middle school or high school. Mm-hmm. But I would tell people, "Oh, just call me something else. Just call me a nickname or something." But now I do like my name, and I think it was Mom who came up with the initials, and then Dad who came up with the names. Right. So mine is
that's true.
Mine is DNA, because Mom and Dad met at Florida State University, and Mom actually liked Dad, but he was engaged to somebody else, and so then she found out what he was studying, and that was biochemistry. So then she went into biochemistry.
She changed her whole major.
Yeah, she changed her major, and she said, "Oh, what's the name of your fiance?" "Oh, it's Rose." "Okay, I'll be praying for you two." And apparently the prayers work.
That's the running joke.
But yes. So the D is for Dakar, and then N for Nile Alexander, and then for Cairo,
CDR.
Yes.
It's like commander or doctor.
Yeah.
Was sort of prophesied that I would be a commander or a leader of some sort, and then also a doctor. So I'll be pursuing my Juris Doctorate soon, and then I'll be a doctor. And then Sudan?
Mine is Sale, like SALE, because of the real estate. So remember when they were in the real estate market, she always said that I was going to be a big businesswoman. So she wanted to prophesize it.
Yeah.
See, you all, I saw a question pop up about what's in a name. And you see you all are giving definitions about initials, and we already had defined what does your name mean. What is so in definition there's direction. Yeah. And so Cairo, you mentioned that too, in terms of it's bigger than you, and it made you have this other inspiration, aspiration there. And then Sudan was somewhat land of Black people, so that kind of gave you some focus too, in terms of also in Dakar the same thing. So in definition there's direction. That's why it's important for us to define things. And in fact, historically, we had names, even the names that you've chosen for your companies, also in that, say that the quality goes in before the name goes on, and the quality was in you four, and then all of a sudden the name comes on, and for some it was a part of your history. You inherited it, like Dominic being a part of the family business and those kinds of things. It was already established. So this is beautiful. So let me get to this question here then. And some of that came out, but what inspired each of you? I've heard some other things, but what was the inspiration to really get into where you are right now? You've gone through certain things, and now you're where you are. What inspired you to get into this particular line of work now that you're at right now, that you've chosen? After going through various iterations, I've heard it from several of you. What was the inspiration?
Mainly God. God has put so much into my life, even when it comes to pageantry. I look back at my dad's old Facebook post, and it's like God was sending me a message. I have so many pictures with pageant queens. I have a picture with the past Miss Venezuela for Miss Universe. My dad went to a baseball game, and then there were a bunch of pageant queens behind him who were watching the game from the Miss America organization. Where else? We went to, for the first time in 71 years, the Miss Universe competition.
Since 1969.
Oh, sorry.
1969.
Since the first time since 1969. The 69th Miss Universe competition was right here in Fort Lauderdale in our backyard. And it was like, God was like, Sudan, you need to do this. There's no other field that you need to go into right now. And through my pageantry journey, this is my first year in pageantry. I competed at 4 pageants, and each one has made me stronger to the point where I am now the reigning Miss Black Florida Talented Teen USA for the Miss Black USA pageant organization. And through pageantry, I've been able to do hundreds of hours of pageant community service. I founded my favorite community service project that I did so far is Reading with Royalty, a nonprofit organization that I founded April 21st, 2020. And now we're here, and I have over 500 readers from across 6 countries, right? 6 countries, 7 countries now. Wow, 7 countries now. And now partnered with Nicholas Children's Hospital Foundation, which is part of Children's Miracle Network Hospitals, the largest children's hospital foundation in the United States. And having the video circulate around the hospital so that we can bring the patients some joy. So I've been able to do so much community service work in the past year, and seeing the impact that I've made, not just here, but also in Jamaica, where we were able to partner with NFFI JA, New Future Foundation, Inc., the Jamaica chapter, and give tablets, other electronics, sanitizers to the children in Jamaica. And I remember that Her Excellency Cairo talked about this earlier today during the graduation with Queen Mother Dolores Blakely, but I will reiterate that. We were at the airport leaving for a flight back to Florida from Jamaica, and we were wearing our branded GODSU jackets. That's the importance of branding. We see you, Dr. Talib. We see you.
Yeah.
And she stopped us. She waved us down. She was like, what does this mean? And so we explained it, and she was like, oh my goodness, my daughter, she's trying to go to school. She does not have a computer, an iPad, or anything. They're gonna kick her out of school. We talked more and realized that she went to Meadowbrook High School, the same high school that we donated the tablets to. And we realized that her daughter was on the list to receive a tablet. And so later, actually a week or so ago, she emailed us pictures. So sweet, and it makes me cry. She emailed pictures of her daughter holding the iPad doing her work, and it said that GODSU was a godsend. And that the work that we did changed her life, and that she was able to go to school. So I just see the impact that we're making, and it's just God. It's really just God.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Again, I just keep echoing. You being the youngest one, and then you automatically bring. All the countries that your names are associated with, they would say Alhamdulillah. They would say, all praise be to Almighty God, and thanks be to Almighty God. And so you're one that's doing something that most people don't do, Sudan. As people of faith, we know that Almighty God is always communicating. And so you were saying that you were listening to that communication.
Yes.
Because all of us were given something by Almighty God. That's why we have our distinct fingerprints. They're different for each one of us. That tells us that we all have something that's just for us, that He's given us, and we just have to listen. And you're moving upon that, and that's just beautiful to see how that inspiration is coming from that internal messaging that you're receiving to continue to move and do what you're doing. So we really appreciate what you're saying. I know somebody's motioning me on the time. We don't have a lot of time. I want to get a couple more questions, but I do want to hear the others speak to that what inspired you. Sudan, thank you again, Sudan. So
can I just share very quickly, if that's okay, Imam?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll try to keep it to a minute. I realize that we are closing up on time. I've really been enjoying this. And Sudan, you almost made me cry. Oh my God. Domino effect. Okay, so the short answer is that what inspires me every single day, I mean, I talk about mentors, I talk about the people who've inspired me in the past, but really and truly it's realizing that I am getting to be the sort of role model that I needed when I was growing up. That has really been what inspires me. I didn't see anyone who looked like me, who had locks like me, who was very much globally focused. I mean, I had people in high school and college telling me, okay, so when are you going to, take out your locks and, get ready for the professional world? And I was like, I am ready for the professional world just as I am. There were many times in which I didn't think that I could do some of the things that I'm doing right now, such as being a title holder. I didn't think there was a space for me. So realizing that to go from that mentality, or I guess a mentality of scarcity, or that, there's not necessarily a space for me based off of what makes me so different, to then embracing those things, those same qualities, and saying, this is exactly why I need to make sure that I am really being my authentic self, because I've had so many people reach out to me, DM me, message me, tell me face to face how much it's inspired them to see someone like myself doing the things that I'm doing. And so I know that I needed someone like that when I was younger, but at the very least, I get to be that person for someone else.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Really, really appreciate that. It's a lot to say in that, even more so. So let's go to Dominique. Dominique, you straight?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
So for me, it was just growing up in the business that I was around. I was always in the auto industry and around motorsports, even at a young age. And I really loved cars. And so that's what actually drove me into this direction, into taking over the family business, and which is a car dealership. And so it's just my love for cars and motorsports.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
His Excellency, Dakar.
Yes. So, what inspired me to do what I'm doing today? So I mentioned when my Kicks Restorations business went to crash. I yes, um, I came a part of GODSU, the Junior Bachelor Program, and the and I was volunteering for several years at the time, and until the current graphic designer had some issues, health issues, to the point where it affected their ability to move their hands and see. So um, we had a graduation the next week, and we needed a flyer done, and I very little experience, uh, got together a flyer, and everybody liked the flyer so much that had several people want to pay to get on a spot for the flyer. And Dr. Diane said, you can turn this into a business. You can help people with graphic design. You can get some more experience, take on some more clients, and so on. So I really started to educate myself on graphics, and get mentoring. I had some mentors in graphic design, and uh, and now everything, we can see some of our work. Uh, Imam Dr. Talib, he's
Yeah,
wearing.
I see it in the background too. You got a
Yes,
lot of stuff up on the background there.
yes. And
Yeah.
all the virtual backgrounds everybody has. You can see we have banners behind me as well. Your jacket that you're wearing, that was done by my company as well as the logo as well. And there's some students that are with us today that have their jackets. They're going to be showing it tomorrow when they
Good.
introduce themselves. So
Yeah, so let's try to get one more in, and you just hit it. You hit it there, His Excellency Dakar. So I'm gonna start off with you on that, and I want each of you to think about this question, and this is, what aspirations do you have for your career?
I see really growing the car marketing tools, and as far as getting some more commercial printing, getting big vendor, becoming a bigger establishment, have different franchises and so on. So that's what I look forward to.
Good. So each one. So what's the
Right.
vision? What's the vision?
Yeah. Okay, for me, I'd like to scale my business. It was handed to me on a level, and I just want to elevate that. Currently, we're operating in Kingston, and I'd want to take it over to the North Coast, which would be the next capital, Montego Bay. So I'd like to expand the business into that region, and become one of the biggest importers. You know, in Jamaica in terms of cars.
Yes.
That's what I want to do.
Yeah. That's good. That's excellent inspiration there.
Thank you.
Yes. Go ahead, Her Excellency, Cairo.
Okay, so I would share two very quickly. So I would first, so as I shared with you before, Bringing the World to Florida is a flagship project of a program of Cairo Speaks, Cairo Writes. And I envision not just bringing the world to Florida, but bringing the world to the US, and then being able to take the emphasis off the US and going into different countries like South Africa and bringing the world to South Africa so that there can be cultural exchange told from that perspective. So really expanding what I've already been working on, and just making sure that it's inclusive of all different cultures, all different backgrounds, so that we can really have a nuanced perspective when it comes to what it means to be a global citizen. So that would be one. And next would also be continuing to gain contracts, sponsorships with different organizations, companies, corporations, and also being able to branch out and have contracts with governments of different countries as it relates to leadership development programs and personal professional development programs as well.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Sudan.
So with my pageantry, I would like to expand more when it comes to sponsorships. My pageant is coming up on August 5th. And so we have a countdown timer, about 80 days, and just ensuring that I'm fully prepared and that I have the funding to back me up in the case that I do win the title of Miss Black Talented Teen 2021.
Wonderful. And congratulations on all your successes to date. Yeah, we're very grateful to have seen that. And we're getting ready to close it now, but I want to just let the audience know, and we've been witnessing before us 4 seeds, SEED, as that has sprouted.
So now let's get started with our outstanding global workers. We have our spokesperson for GODSU, our ambassador, His Excellency Dr. Before Ajibewa Chaplain, and he is a Ghanaian ambassador.
Doing online courses for GODSU, Dr. Daniel Porte, GODSU board member and CEO of Professional Management Enterprises, Inc.
We have helping with administrative work and public relations for NFFI JA, our Queen Mother, Her Excellency Dr. Delois Blakely Chaplain, who's the president of New Future Foundation.
Administrative work and public relations for GODSU, Assistant Dean Apostle Dr. Adrian Jackson Chaplain, president and owner of Global Expert Solutions LLC, and she's also the GODSU Success Teach and Pray co-host.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm excited to be here today to share a little bit about what I do. I'm a global business consultancy agency, Global Expert Solutions. And what we do, we provide education, training, and strategies to help leaders and organizations to improve their leadership, skill set, and competency. But most importantly, what we are looking to do is to expand our territory to help other Africans and African Americans that are located all over the world. I want to do business with you. I want to help you to learn and grow as a business leader and as an organization to impact the world. Make a decision today to be a part of Global Expert Solutions. Make a decision today that you're going to change your mindset, behavior, and attitude toward yourself, toward your business desires, and toward your customers. Listen, I am here to help you. But most importantly, I want to share something exciting that happened last weekend at Global Over Day Seminary and University. We had an exciting graduation ceremony and an Empower You conference that was just phenomenal and out of this world. There was so many living legends that offered excellent expert information, and all of us were just truly blessed. The next time someone mentions Global Over Day Seminary and University to you, I want you to check them out. They're having a phenomenal educational programs, training programs for entrepreneurs and spiritual leaders. But listen, we love you and we want you to be a part of the awesome global movement that we are doing all over the world. Again, I am Apostle Dr. Adrian Jackson. You may reach me via email or telephone. My email address is dradrianjackson@gmail.com, and my telephone number is area code 657-358-0297, or you may reach me via 800 number 877-658-0377, extension 1000. God bless you and shalom.
Thank you. And we have helping with administrative work for GODSU, our Dean, His Excellency Dr. Willis Eubanks Chaplain, who's the CEO of Take Action Now IT Inc., doing business as Tandem.
Working in the administrative field for GODSU, GODSU Executive Administrator, Her Excellency Dr. Arlene Span Chaplain, founder of Arlene Sweats.
And we have our paralegal and helping with administrative work as well, our director, Her Excellency Cairo D.R. Eubanks, UNCSR CLC CEC Chaplain, who's the CEO of Cairo Speaks and Cairo Writes.
Doing public relations for GODSU, Designate Dr. Terrence Winslow. Doing public relations for GODSU, Designate Dr. Terrence Winslow, LSSBB, Designate Chaplain. 20-year Army retired veteran, Arthur. 20-year Army retired veteran, Arthur, and strategic management consultant, founder, Bravado Investments, LLC, DBA B360.
And we have the following helping of public relations for GODSU.
Dr. Kevin J. Suber, Chaplain, President, Founder and Chief, a Visionary Officer of the Suber Group.
And we have our GODSU Chancellor, the Right Honorable Her Excellency Reverend Dr. Diane Moore Eubanks, JD Chaplain, and she's been recently crowned as Miss Senior Florida USA and Miss Senior Jamaica Universe. You can see her being crowned on the screen.
Miss Galen Sahir, Miss Senior Sweetheart, Miss Israel Egypt Universe, and Miss Senior Florida USA now presents Attorney Dr. Diane Moore Eubanks as Miss Senior Jamaica Universe.
And I crown you as Miss Senior Jamaica Universe. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Woo!
Assistant Dean Reverend Dr. Sandra Norris Decker, Chaplain, First Lady and co-pastor of Greenhouse International Church, owner and physician, Genesis Health and Clinic and Spa, as well as GODSU Assistant Dean of Chaplaincy Program.
Hello and good afternoon, everyone. To God be the glory. What an honor to be here after experiencing such an awesome graduation. I am just honored to be among this great panel on tonight. I am Reverend Dr. Co-Pastor, First Lady Sandra Norris Decker of the Greenhouse International Church, the place you go to grow to reach your full potential. I am also provider and owner of Genesis Health and Wellness Clinic and Spa right here in the Houston area. Our vision is to provide a patient-centered, holistic health and wellness clinic that offers a service of excellence from the time our clients enter into the door until a time they've reached their healthy goals. It is our mission to bridge the gap between medical, spiritual, by equipping our clients with the tools needed so that they can achieve a healthy body, mind, and soul. It is my assignment at GODSU as the Assistant Dean of Chaplaincy to bridge the gap and introduce pastors, first ladies, leaders, deacons, family, and friends, where to no place other than GODSU, a place where you can connect and create a spiritual unification that will bring God ultimate glorification. I am again Sandra Norris Decker, your provider here in the Houston area. I can be reached at 525 North Sam Houston Parkway, East Suite 255 at Genesis Health and Wellness, #2 at gmail.com, Sandra Decker at gmail.com. The numbers I can be reached at 832-672-4737 or 281-772-8814. And again, I want to invite you to get on board, get involved, and come a part of GODSU, the place where you will become a lifelong learner.
Thank you.
Assistant Dean Reverend Dr. Lolithia Davis, Chaplain, CEO and founder, D.R to Live in Overflow, and she's also the God Success Teach and Pray co-host.
Oh, great day, everyone, and all to our viewing audience and listeners. It is truly an honor to greet you on this great day. I am Assistant Dean, Reverend Dr. Lolithia Berard Davis, Chaplain. I am and honored alumna to the GODSU Global Overday Seminary and University. I have grown, I have reached a level that I could have never imagined. This university is not just a university where you just go to class, complete your assignments and your courses, graduate, and that's it. You're just a number. No, at GODSU, you're not just a number. You are somebody. You are one that they will want to stay connected with if you choose to stay connected. Choose to stay connected. Decide, have a mindset to want to grow even further, even higher. God says that I want to take you higher. Oh my God. He says, I desire for you to live life more abundantly. And that's why I am the founder, CEO and founder of D.R to Live in Overflow. D.R is the Hebrew word for freedom, liberty, and whom the Son sets free is free indeed. I just believe that God desires for his children, all of us, to live in the abundance of the many promises that he has for us. And so then I am also a financial solution specialist where I help people to become first-time home buyers. And that is to help them build their credit scores. Yes, build your credit scores. Don't be ashamed of what your credit score is. Be ashamed if you don't do anything about it. I want to help you. I want to help you meet that dream, something that you've always dreamed of, and make it become manifestation. Okay, because God says that you can have that you desire. Whatever you think, whatever you ask. God said, I'm well able to do exceedingly and abundantly above all that you could ever ask, think, or imagine. But guess what? We have to take the first step. And so I want to be able to meet you and help you to reach that goal. If you want to purchase a business, I want to help you reach that goal. And so then you can reach me at live47@hotmail.com, or you may give me a call at 346-224-0784. Thank you, and have yourself a godly, abundantly blessed day. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And next we have our Miss Black Florida Talented Team, the Miss Black USA title holder for the Sunshine State, Sudan A.L. Eubanks, who's the CEO of Sudan Dolls, Games, and Apps. She's also on the God Success Teach and Pray as a co-host.
Thank you so much, His Excellency Dakar. Hi, I am 14-year-old Sudan Eubanks. I have the best national pageant coming up August 5th. I am currently holding the title of Miss Black Florida Talented Teen 2021, and in August, I'll be competing for the grand title of Miss Black Talented Teen 2021. If you'd like to learn more about the nonprofit organizations that I handle and the different community service projects that I do correlated to United Nations, as well as Children's Miracle Network hospitals, the top Children's Hospital Foundation in the United States, go to my website, sudaneubanks.com. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, and doing administrative work, Director His Excellency Dakar Eubanks Chaplain, who is the CEO of Dakar Marketing Tools. Please take it away.
Absolutely. So as she said, this is yours truly, your MC and engineer, His Excellency Dakar, and I'm Director of Operations at GODSU, and I'm the CEO of Dakar Marketing Tools, which is an international graphic and printing company providing you with all of your marketing needs to help you and your company grow. Our popular products are branded rings, branded pins, branded golf shirts, and branded jackets. We also have GODSU African American History Bibles, and all the ladies that you see before me They all have their GODSU jackets. You can see they are all wearing their GODSU jackets. They have their virtual backgrounds, and they're going to be featured in the GODSU African American History Bibles as well. So in addition, at Dakar Marketing Tools, we also provide crucial merchandise for your business, such as our magazines. You can see I'm holding up a copy here. And you can also see the edition for our May on the screen, May 2021. We got a great response at our graduation and Power U conference, and you can grab your copy as well. We also do banners, digital business cards, and printed business cards. And with our innovative tools, we can turn your brick and mortar into an e-commerce platform. We do have a Zoom for Profits course. It's on demand, so you can take it anytime you like. The information's on the screen for how to enroll. Some of the offered courses are how to make money doing Zoom, Zoom Essentials, Zoom Basics, and turning your brick and mortar into an e-commerce platform. You can see my QR code for my digital card on the screen, and you can also text us at 754-260-5157, and you can also email us at info@dakarmarketingtools.com, and you can also visit our website, dakarmarketingtools.com. And at this time, I would like to extend a special appreciation to the GODSU leaders listed above who have volunteered many hours. We appreciate those who have provided actual names, emails, and phone numbers of referrals. GODSU is grateful for the opportunity to add workers of God to our database, as well as register for educational programs. And at this time, I want to remind you to please like, subscribe, comment, and share, and be sure to stay tuned as we have some more information that follows.
Global Ovid Day Seminary and University GODSU is a 501c3 interfaith e-learning Global Florida Department of Education Commission of Independent Studies approved degree issuing religious institution of higher learning under Florida Statute 1005.061F in Miramar, Florida, a suburb of Fort Lauderdale suburbs. Our curricula include programs like our theology diploma, bachelor's, master's, and PhD programs, which are designed for students called to the ministries of teaching and preaching. Program enrollees include pastors, evangelists, missionaries, and laypersons. Our additional courses: Entrepreneurial Studies, premier self-development courses on wealth building. We also offer a mini course for youth, the Junior Ambassador Youth Public Speaking, to gain professional and personal skills. Chaplaincy Diploma, Love and Spiritual, Interfaith, and Christian programs. Chaplains are trained, certified leaders attached to either a religious and/or non-religious institution or organization. Cybersecurity IT courses. Our licensed instructor has a 95% pass rate compared to the 30% national average for CompTIA accredited courses, such as Security Plus and Network Plus. 40% of our alum who've gone through our prestigious GODSU honors programs have also previously matriculated through their earned doctorate programs. Our alum include physicians, ambassadors, statesmen and stateswomen, icons and billionaires, religious leaders, titans in business, global philanthropists such as Ambassador of Ghana to the United States, His Excellency Dr. Bafor A.J. Bewa, Ambassador of Nigeria to the United States, His Excellency Dr. Sylvanus Nusifor, billionaire builder and dean, His Excellency Dr. Michael V. Roberts, former Maritime Minister, Government of Nigeria, Honorable Dr. Leke Olawale. Our world-class and esteemed professors include Attorney Her Excellency Reverend Dr. Diane Moore Eubanks, PhD, Chancellor, Physician Dr. Eric Bizetsky, Clinical Health and Nutrition and GODSU Medical Expert, Physician Her Excellency Rhoda Makinde, PhD, Chief Medical Doctor, GODSU, Medical Missions, Dean Michael V. Roberts, JD, PhD, Dean of Entrepreneurship, Dean Cairo Eubanks, Dean of Junior Ambassador, Professor Willis Eubanks, PhD, Dean of Cybersecurity Program, Professor Imam Dr. Talib Shareef, Professor Interfaith Program and Chaplaincy, Professor Reverend Dr. William Blake Theology Program Curriculum Development, Professor His Excellency Dakar